This is an editorial written by Derwin D. Jones. He's the bishop of the Anglican Diocese of Huron. It's entitled Forgiveness, Not Conditional. And it was published as an editorial in last Saturday's London Free Press. And he says, they tell us that society is in a mood to swing back toward capital punishment. One is never sure of this because public opinion ebbs and flows depending on local circumstances. It seems somewhat scary that something as impartial and objective as justice should be at the beck and call of fickle public opinion. But this is the kind of lowest common denominator thinking our opinion-polled society has let itself in for. Those of us who would argue for principle as the determining factor rather than mass opinion feel that the calculated judicial taking of human life should not depend on passing events to make its decision. Surely it is by calm, considered rationale, not by current hysteria, that the best and wisest judgment can be exercised. So the government is wise not to hurry the issue out for a review in a climate where passions are aroused and emotions run high. Instead, we need to calmly consider the reasons we reached the decision earlier to banish the death penalty and to verify the reasoned wisdom of that. Martin Luther King, the anniversary of whose assassination we have just passed, framed the whole issue in terms of society's need to be able to forgive. He writes most appealingly in one of his books about the sadness of a society that has lost its capacity to forgive those who offended against it. And here, of course, he is betraying a Christian conviction that places such a high premium on forgiveness. He writes, as a young lady who, after a moment of overriding passion, becomes the mother of an illegitimate child, she will tell you that society is slow to forgive. Ask a public official who in a moment's carelessness betrays the public trust. He will tell you that society is slow to forgive. Go to any prison and ask the inhabitants who have written shameful lines across the pages of their lives. From behind bars, they will tell you that society is slow to forgive. Make your way to death row and speak with the tragic victims of criminality. As they make their pathetic walk to the electric chair, their hopeless cry is that society will not forgive. Capital punishment is society's final assertion that it will not forgive. Perhaps we are most truly humans when we find it in our hearts to forgive. Fairness demands that we consider that often the desperate act of the person we are trying to punish was perpetrated against a set of personal circumstances that society unfairly gave to him from the moment of birth. In any case, forgiveness should not be conditional. We cannot neutralize the power of love by refusing it to those who we once loved and who then disappointed us. Would we ourselves want to live in a universe if God said, I will love you only if you never fail me? Make no mistake about what I am arguing here. I am not saying murderers should be let free unpunished, but to demand death to put ourselves on the same level as the murderer, the unanswerable argument is, how can it be right to kill people to show them they should not kill people? Society has the right to impose penalties, but surely it is totally incongruous to exact judicial murder coldly and with calculation as a response to a murder committed perhaps in a fit of passion or desperation. Martin Luther King may well be right when he maintained that capital punishment is society's final bankrupt assertion that it will not forgive, and it places society at a sadly subhuman level. At the animal level, probably, retaliative death might be the action of the wolf pack. But at the human level, surely we have a response that is more curative and therapeutic and in keeping with our God-given role as thinking, understanding souls who also know something of forgiveness.